Hi and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst. In this video I'm going to go through the Forex market wrap. I'm going to go through some of the currencies that we highlighted in the week ahead analysis, and I'm going to show you what kind of happened in those markets. I'm also going to add in the dollar index here because the US dollar has been one of those big movers this week, and we explained in a previous US dollar index video that we did earlier in the week. We talked about the fact that the commitment of trader reports were highlighting a significant short position or a significant rise in the commercial short positions on the US dollar, which could suggest that the trend that we're seeing at the moment, or the strength that we're seeing, could reverse in the short term. And that's what we're seeing at the moment in the markets. Price came up into this key weekly zone that we looked at on the US dollar index and has now started to see price break to the downside. Now, we didn't know the timing of when this would happen because the commitment of trader reports doesn't show us that. However, we did talk about the potential for a slight increase more before a move down. However, price has just reversed instead. And one thing that we touched upon in that video was that when the 4-hour trend changes, there could be a significant downward move. And you can see here on the US dollar index that we actually formed a head and shoulders pattern. And the CPI data, which wasn't as positive as first thought, price or the investors reacted to that news and price broke to the downside through here. So what I'd be expecting now from the US dollar is a little bit more downside. The weekly is definitely suggesting that we're getting a bit of what I would consider a false breakout pattern, where we have a inside candlestick and then the next week breaks that inside candlestick high, but then closes back within the range. That is a strong sort of signal that the potential for the US dollar index to fall could continue, and we could see prices back into sort of 93.50 where these kind of opens and closes are and rejections are in the past. So a little bit more dollar downside to come, I think, in the short term. Whether that commitment of trader signal sees price move a little bit lower, we have to kind of consider the technicals there. Maybe it could move in line with this trend line that we're seeing, where we've had a touch recently. Maybe we'll decline a little bit further into sort of the 93.20s, but that would be something we look into further down the line. But the US dollar starting to make that move. Now, one thing that we wanted to trade the dollar against this week was the Australian US dollar. If we go take a look at Aussie, price has extended a lot further. We talked about the potential for this market to rally due to the commitment of trader signal, not only on the US dollar but on the Australian dollar as well. The commitment of traders were increasing their long positions, or the commercials were increasing their long positions considerably to the same level of long contracts that were down here back in March. So that to me was a really strong signal that price was going to move to the upside through here, and that we could see an extension. If price can break above 74.60 or 74.70s, then we could see price back up to the next resistance band, which I wouldn't be surprised it being around about that 0.79 area, where we had these recent swing highs through here. So could be some big moves to come on the Australian dollar. We just need to see those technicals play out. Looking at the daily time frame, we haven't really had a higher low come into the market yet, so I would be expecting that to happen at some point. Maybe price retesting this zone up here, this slight supply zone there, could be an opportunity for a bit of profit taking. Maybe a retracement down into sort of this area here could be ideal, around about that 0.73 level. If I just pop that into the chart, you can see that around about 7.3 to 7.315, there's this zone just through here. So maybe price will kind of pull back into this area where we can continue then to look for those long positions in the Australian dollar. If it takes out these highs, I think we'll see some further upside to this market. Because we wanted to be a buyer of the Australian dollar, we looked at euro as short. So we wanted to be a short euro as euro was one of the weakest currencies last week, and we wanted to continue to short that market against stronger currencies. The Australian dollar was one of those, and we have seen that extension going into this week. If we just look at the weekly candlestick, we've just continued to push down into that target zone that we were looking for, which was this previous structure around about 156.40. It gave us a couple of pullbacks to work with. The first one, we broke out of this zone. We were looking for a retest there. It didn't quite make it back there, but then it did actually retest this structure high through here, which would have offered you short opportunities in line with the overall downtrend into this support zone. So again, very similar to the Aussie US dollar, we haven't really had many lower highs form on this or many retracement phases. So maybe we're going to start to see that retracement phase if the Aussie US dollar price starts to pull back a little bit. Euro Oz could move a little bit higher before continuing that downtrend. Going on to dollar Cad then, because Cad was another market that we felt was quite strong and that we were looking for long opportunities on or to buy the Canadian dollar against weaker ones. We outlined dollar Cad could be one of those markets that was to move down. It did move down quite aggressively. We've moved around about 150 pips this week to the downside after breaking out of Monday's very low ranging candlestick through here. If you go to the 4-hour time frame, you can see basically price was just consolidating. It broke out of that range and continued to move lower. So one area we wanted to see price come into was around about this 1.2, but we also talked about 122 being an area of significance because price has come back down into this 122.80 in the past and rejected. So maybe that's where dollar CAD is heading towards at the moment. So I wouldn't be surprised if we over the next sort of week or so extend down into this level. Again, I would like to see a daily retracement phase come into the market so we can look for a short opportunity. Maybe we'll get that if price can come back into this 124.50 for a short down into these levels. Finally then, Cad Yen was another one that we looked at. We pointed out Cad Yen previously because of this monthly chart. The fact that we had this bullish inside candlestick was a suggestion that the market was about to enter a monthly impulse phase, and ever since we've talked about that, price has rallied over 500 pips, and that's a strong uptrend forming here. Now we looked at the daily this week and we suggested that we wanted to be looking for some pullbacks to get long. We didn't really get any apart from this sort of rejection here at resistance, which was a small inside candle. Whenever you see these low ranging candlesticks, there's always going to be followed by an impulsive phase. Like if we check out these candlesticks here, very low in range, all trading within this bullish candlestick there, we get an explosive move out of that. Very similar here, very low ranging candlestick, CAD strong, yen weak. Look for those buying opportunities when price breaks through those highs. So another nice extension there. So the week ahead analysis, we actually looked at all these charts and they've moved in the direction quite nicely. In the next week ahead analysis, we'll have a little look at the strong and weak currencies again. I'll take a look at the commitment of trader report, see if anything has notably changed there, and we can identify what markets could trend next week. Thanks for watching the content this week. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, leave this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. We really want to head towards that 5,000 subscriber mark. Thanks for watching. Speak to you soon.